What's going on, guys? Give me a minute here. We will get people in, and then we will get started in just a couple minutes at most. Hopefully, you guys are all doing pretty well on this Friday. Do me a favor, like and retweet that tweet that is threw out there. That'll help us out a little bit. I'll get it out on Discord as well. All right, again, hey, do me a favor, please like and retweet the tweet here. We will see. I'll see if Brand's going to join me here this morning or this afternoon, wherever you might be in the world. Then we'll get started up here in just a second. This will be recorded and posted, so do not worry too much if you have to step out at any point. Man, Twitter Spaces is what it is. Walks is telling me my volume is too low. I don't know how to change volume on this. I can't use my mic because it's not accessible on the computer for some reason, so that's fantastic. But let's see if I could fix that while we're working on some things here. Can anybody else hear me just fine, or is it just Walks's settings potentially? You guys let me know real quick if you don't mind. What's going on, Brian?
Hello, how are we doing? Yeah, no, you sound fine, Chip. I think it is just
Yeah, I can hear you
Walks.
just fine.
All right, cool. Then we will carry on. It might just be yours, Walks. So I do apologize if you can barely hear me there. But it is what it is. So, guys, please do me a favor, like and retweet the tweet out here. Let's get some people in here. We'll get started up here in just a second. We have some good updates here to go over, so we'll go over a lot of that, of course. And then also take your questions at any point. So please simply request to speak. You can post questions on this Twitter Spaces here. We can answer them live for you. So I like the engagement. I love all that there. So let's get this started here in just a couple of seconds. Got a little bit of background there, Bran. Just a little bit of background noise.
Oh, my apologies.
All right, cool. So we got plenty of people in here. So again, I will just say this. Please like and retweet these tweets. Let's get some people in here as we go on. But first of all, welcome, PTX fam, to our weekly Friday Twitter Spaces AMA here on this beautiful September 16th, 2022, or maybe this September 17th, depending where you might be in the world. So appreciate you guys all joining us here for this AMA. We have some good things to go over, some good updates. Like I said, we just like to do some community AMAs at least twice a week to give you guys that access point to us on the team and figure out what we've been dealing with, what we've been working on, and everything that's to come, of course. And then if you guys do have any questions along the way, please simply request to speak or post the questions in the comments tab here on the Twitter Spaces. We will answer them live for you. I am joined by Bran. How are you doing today, Bran?
Not too bad, thank you very much. How are you doing, Chip?
Doing pretty well. Keeping busy, and that's what I like to see. So it's good times here.
We've had some great updates, especially over the last 24 hours regarding all the branding. As you guys may see, we've slowly started to take a little change. You may have seen the new white paper that was recently launched. The white paper is an ever-growing process, right? So that will constantly be updated. You'll see it's currently on V4. Hopefully over time that will increase with different plans and different opportunities that we have. To be fair, white papers and roadmaps should always be ever expandable. So hopefully we can have more updates on that shortly. Another cool thing, which we'll touch base on, really, one of the more prominent things that have happened in the last 24 hours. So the website design is now completely finalized. So we had a meeting about 3 a.m. my time last night with the web team. Everything is completely done now. So the good thing about that is once that design is done, which it now is, we've now passed that over to the app team for them to implement. Now we're hoping that the implementation shouldn't be as long as the creation. Obviously, the creation, there's a lot of fiddly bits and a lot of deciding what you want where and how to go. And obviously, the implementation is following the design plan, which is all there structured with all the assets. So hopefully, we should have more updates once we have a a set plan. Once we get an update from the team about, hey, we've got 24 hours left, then what we could do is we could start scheduling the plan of the release, which everyone's waiting for, right? So one major call update is, I thought I'd give the updates. Let Shiv have a break. I know he always starts these and gives the updates, but I thought I'd give them all what's been going on really. Another cool update is all of our contracts for PTX, EPTX, the PUSD, everything that we have rolling out has all been passed over to Solidity Proof, sorry, which has actually been paid for. So now we've got all of that, set ready. All of the contracts will be audited, which is really exciting. And as that's been paid already and passed over, hopefully we can get PTX and EPTX audited prior to release, which is obviously good for people's, sanity and mental health when they purchase a project. Albeit I trust the contracts very well and the team that have created the contracts, but it's always good to have that extra layer of security, right? So once they're all audited and once the website's complete, we can then initiate the rollout. Now, the rollout will be very, very straightforward. Mark himself has a good contract that pretty much automates it. All you have to do as holders is add the new contract to your wallet address. Now, a good thing about the rebranding is prior, we wasn't on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. So you won't have the issue of getting confused which PTX is which. Once we do launch on CMC, we're then able to get all of that good stuff, the logos, the prices and such. We have good news on that as well is we've obviously spoken to Mark, who is creating the contracts for us for PTX, EPTX and such. And that he's confirmed that we won't have any problems. To our knowledge, obviously there's always a chance for listening on these platforms, right? One of our greatest concerns, and if you are new to PTX and what we're doing here, one of our greatest concerns was not being able to list on CoinGecko and CMC. Now, to some people that doesn't sound like much, but when you have opportunities for trending and visibility on a platform, you kind of get into a limbo state where you're not recognized as a cryptocurrency and more as a shitcoin or a scam, a rug pull. And that's not what we wanted. We didn't want any potential FUD or any people questioning our credibility or what we have planned, especially with such a large scale ecosystem that we're looking to build, right? We didn't want that to have any effect on the token or you guys as holders, because essentially that wouldn't be fair, right? So we're really excited for that rollout. We've also been speaking to a blog team. This isn't confirmed, but it's just a little bit of alpha. They have designed, and actually we just previewed it about 10 minutes ago, the blog site, which is something we're hoping to implement. Now, obviously, I'm the community side. I'm the CM. You guys may know me as the CM of PTX. We're looking to sort of implement this blog. Now, the thing about the blog, and one thing I love about the blog, is very community-based, right? So although we're going to have, if it does get implemented, I'd love to hear you guys' feedback in the Discord if that's something you'd like to see. The blog would obviously feature, community posts, community engagement, and obviously what we will look to do is sort of go along the lines of being able to, have general chats about crypto, maybe some educational videos from the team. And a bad, example of this, but if any of you guys have watched, Hustler University from Andrew Tate, then sort of videos where you can engage with the community and have specific videos on topics. So that would be a good place to have that. And another good thing about the blogs as well is what we can do is put all of the announcements there, because I know some people hate, and I hate it myself, having to scroll through multiple chats to find the alpha or the updates. So at least then what we're able to do is go, hey guys, we've got a bunch of updates and they're all on the blog. So if you haven't been able to catch the Discord or you haven't been able to come to the AMAs, you can jump on the blog and see what's been happening. Another good thing about the blog is we can probably, and one thing I do want to start doing, I haven't really discussed this thoroughly with Shib, just more something I want to do, is I always get asked all the time about, you know, moderating and things in crypto and experience with crypto. So maybe we could do a little not podcast but little videos every now and then regarding like how it is working in crypto and the general overview of crypto. I think that'd be really good for some of our community members who do want to take the leap into, you know, working their own cryptocurrency, or you know, building your own platform, such as being a moderator for projects or growing yourself completely. So that's another thing that's currently on the boards. We're currently working with a team to see if we want to implement that fully, but that's definitely something I want to speak to you guys about, especially the community, if this is something you guys are interested in doing, if this is something that anyone, you know, is passionate about. I know we had some people in the Discord who, you know, shout out OX Clown. He has made unbelievable amounts of graphics and, you know, videos and stuff, which can obviously be a great feature on the blog as well itself. So if it's something that you are passionate about and you want to get involved in that, drop me a message on Discord or drop me a message in Telegram. And if we can gauge some feedback on that, then that's something we're happy to implement, you know. We don't want to implement something if it's either not going to be used or be a waste of time or waste of money. I would much rather implement something that people are going to use, right? So that's pretty much for that set of updates. Another set of updates is we are currently redesigning and building the D app out. So the D app in itself is, I'm not just talking about the dashboard and the calculator. I am talking about the whole entirety of, you know, minting X shares and staking your X shares. We did have an initial design. However, when we spoke as a team, we had a meeting about it. We said, look, we want to make this a little bit better. We want to make it interactive, have that user experience. And I think that's something really, really important in a D app, to be able to have that user experience, have some fun in there as well. I've also reached out to a couple of, you know, companies for games on the D app as well. So hopefully we can implement something along them lines as well. But as for overall updates, so we're in a really, really good place. Obviously, the price isn't great, which is, you know, understandable because we have hit that plateau stage in our build, right? We're currently waiting for the new rollout, which, if I'm honest with you, will come with a massive impact. I think the changes we're making and the feedback we've had so far has been great, and that's not even just the community, right? We've been speaking to developers, we've been speaking to teams, you know, professionals, branding teams, and that's where the whole new design came from, right? We used professional companies, we used professional builders, and we actually took their feedback and, you know, the psychological side of the coloring scheme really well. And if you haven't already, I'd highly suggest watching Paul Dudden's videos. He does a really, really great overview of the project. I know he's done a few now, and if you're a bit confused about things that are coming, I know Shib has some things up his sleeve which he may want to talk about today, but definitely check out Paul's videos. Paul does a really, really good overview of what's happening in the project and what's been going on. So if you're ever confused, I'd highly recommend checking out his videos. I mean, they're really, really good. He goes through the entirety of the white paper. He goes, you know, he does a lot. So he simplifies it really well. I know we've got a big build going on. I know there's a lot going on, and we are actively working on releasing documents that will help that. But on that topic, I'll pass it off to Shib now. Shib?
Yeah, so we kind of went over a lot of good stuff there, just a lot of the different updates. And kind of like Brent said, this is a build phase. So one thing I will say with the bear markets and all that, people like to blame them. It is what it is. We all see what's happening in the world. Big financial markets, let alone crypto markets. But those who are willing to build and continue to push their roadmap, which, as we've kind of said here, our entire roadmap is actively being built as we speak, which is pretty cool, I think, from a project that's just launched not even a month ago officially. So lots of great things happening there. We're working with the development team to get these dApps live and all this additional updates on the website and all that. It just needs to get coded now into the front end side, and then we should be good to go. So with all that going, there's just quite a bit that allow us to expand into the future here. One thing I do want to kind of touch base on, because I have had a couple questions upon it, are these NFTs or are these other things going to dilute the PTX market? Because that's, wouldn't be a great thing, right? So we've talked about that in the past. And while I'm not going to sit here and say that we will not see any sales that'll allow people to get in the NFTs or all that, but we're going to try to release everything very strategically and very, drawn out in a way that allows there to be an increase in demand in general. So we'll kind of accompany our releases with a good little marketing campaign. So we can ideally bring in some new people, some new volumes, some new holders while we release these other aspects. So it does hopefully benefit all rising ships here with that tide, right? So that's the whole purpose there. We don't want to see any different sellouts just because we're releasing a bunch of new aspects to the protocol. But that being said, we are aware that there could be, at least some consideration on that. So hopefully that does help just reassure that we do keep that stuff in mind. We are always trying to build and think a couple steps forward. And yeah, maybe we should have thought forward of the direct rebase, but it is what it is. We found an easy way around it. So simple enough there. We're working with the team to get everything live. And again, if you guys do have any questions, please simply request to speak or post away here. We will answer them for you. We've kind of gone over already all the updates on our end. It's what I like to do with these AMAs. First 15 minutes is more so us giving you guys updates on what is happening on our end. If you guys do like the blog idea, please let us know. Because we're still in the consideration phase to that. And if you guys were aware before, I have done some like passive income podcasts, and it did pretty well. People got pretty engaged with that. So if we were able to host podcast kind of environments on there, I think that'll be just another element for the community to engage with and be able to touch over time. And it won't be quite as ProtocolX focused, but maybe broader focus to crypto. I know in those podcasts, I'd even go into, bigger scale economic trends occasionally because ultimately I love that. That's my educational background. I like the econ world. So give us some feedback on all that, of course. And, we're just here building. So again, if you guys have any questions, that's what we're here to address with anyone. And that's one to ask, of course.
Yeah, I just want to say also as well on the topic of branding, the more I'm seeing this purple we've chosen, the more I'm really liking it. And one thing I want to clarify is the purple was not chosen to copy any other projects. The purple was not chosen to resemble any other projects, right? I've heard a couple of passing comments regarding that, and I just want to clarify it's not at all. The purple was actually one of the chosen ideas based on the royalty colors. Now, we didn't just go directly for purple. We went for purple and yellow. Once the website is actually released, you'll see how much difference that is compared to projects that go base purple or everything's around, being just purple, right? The one difference we did do is obviously our logo has changed quite a little bit. You may not have noticed, however, before there wasn't that border around the X, right? We just had a prominent, 3D X, whereas now we have this professional logo and then the border around the X, which I think helps make it pop. We did try the yellow colorway. It just didn't work in the logo. It looks really, really good on the website. However, when you actually implement that into the X, it just looks a bit tangy. But on the website, it looks really, really good. I think it's because it's not just yellow and purple. It's able to be separated with whites as well. Whereas in the logo, it's just solid yellow and purple. So we've gone for the white logo with the purple background. Really, really nice in my opinion. And to be fair, if you don't watch Paul's videos, which I highly suggest you do, even he said he was a bit turned off by the red, and I totally agree with that. At first, the ideology behind the red was meaning powerful and such, but what I did notice is that it was actually a little bit of a turn off, especially with our original website. So a little information about that if you don't know. Our original website was actually designed by Wox. Now, the website that Wox designed was, and I want to be completely honest here, 100 times cleaner than what we have at this current time. Wox designed a really solid website, and the way that it was formatted was really good. And this is nothing to, Solo or anything, don't get me wrong, but because we had such little time after, the palaver with the pre-sale, we had to implement something really fast. Now, we had two options here: either just fix the current website or do it properly. And one thing that we didn't want to do is just half-ass it. And that's one thing we're not going to do with the DApps, right? So albeit things may take a little bit longer than expected, what I don't want to do is release a half-finished product and then have to go back and spend more time and fix it. So we had a DApp initially, right, for all the X shares and such. And it looked good. It looked a little bit basic, don't get me wrong. But then I said to the team, and, the team agreed, it was like, what's the point in us doing this DApp, releasing it, and then having to do a V2 in a couple of weeks' time? It just doesn't make sense. Is it not just best to, spend a little bit more time, whether it be a couple of days or so, and then drop the entirety of the DApp? Now, the process is looking good. Everything is starting to really come together. I mean, we haven't confirmed the blog, but I do like the look of the blog. I think a lot of you guys as well would love the look of the blog. if I'm honest with you, I'm really excited. The website we finalized last night looks really good. It does look, I'll be honest, at least 10 times better than the current one we've got. And then obviously, once we relaunch, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about the process. Now, it's not going to be crazy. You guys won't have to do much, right? Essentially, all you have to do is remove that old contract. Well, you don't have to remove it. Obviously, I'd swipe it out your wallet just for convenience sake, right? But once you get rid of that, add the new contract, and that is it. Now, there will be another step. Obviously, you will have to use the D app and stake your PTX. What the good thing about that is, and this benefits you guys, the ones that are here today, right? The ones that are making the effort. All the other people that don't really care about their investment or received an airdrop, or are the ones that are dumping, they're not going to get rebases unless they're actually engaging. Now, I know obviously people say, what about the people that just don't check, their crypto every so often? Unfortunately, I mean, if you've invested in a project, then it's your responsibility to, make sure you're staying up to date with the latest news. And that's one reason why I was swaying towards a blog as well, is that we can have all of them announcements posted there. So you're not trying to look for alpha, and we can maybe even have an alpha section on the blog, right? I'm not against that. But there's a lot of things coming. Everything is moving really smoothly. I just wanted to have this AMA today just to, reassure everyone that's here that things are moving. Now, one thing I want to talk about just before we get into any questions people may have is the X shares, right? So X shares will be released in waves. The original X share release will just be commons. So once X shares drop, you'll be able to mint commons, and obviously there'll be an airdrop for the wandering passages, and then obviously once legendaries are once the upgradables are released, that's when people will be airdropped their legendary NFTs. So if you've won a legendary NFT, you will not get that on the day of the common release. The reason for this is because they have such a high percent, we don't want people automatically losing money. So what we want to do is build them up, and then once the upgradables come out, so once you can go, hey, I want to get a common NFT, right, and then upgrade it to an uncommon, that's when the legendaries will be airdropped if you have won an airdrop, or if you've won a legendary NFT. But that will all come in good time. People have asked, like, well, hey, why aren't you just releasing stuff? Now, that all goes back to the dilution aspect. We can drop everything on day one, but I guarantee you guys will get a little bit frustrated once you've upgraded your NFT. Now you've got nothing for 6 months. So we are scheduling it really, really well. We are looking to plan it and release it so people still have things to do. You have time to save up PTX, and you have time to do other things, as well as betting, which we're looking to integrate, lottery, have some fun without having to worry that you can't upgrade your NFTs. So one more thing that I'd like to say is that is something we're looking to integrate. I can actually see Betswell in the chat today. So I'm looking to have a meeting with Betswell to see if there's something we can integrate into our new D app that's about to launch. I know they have, if you guys have heard of Thorium, you can have a little look, have a nice, on their D app, they have a nice betting page, which when done responsibly can be a bit of fun. So make sure that if you are getting involved in that sort of aspect in life, you are being careful, and you're not gambling more than you can afford to lose. So that's most definitely not what we want. So always be careful with that. But I think it's another fun aspect to implement into the D app. Just if you're bored, you play around with some X keys if you've got some spare, or some of your rebases, or even leftover BUSD. Why not? But as for updates, I think that's pretty much it on our end. I mean, there's a lot to come. The blog testing website is now finished, which is great. So we're going to speak to them. Please do give us your feedback in the Discord or the Telegram, whichever one you're most prominent in, so we can, see if that's something you guys want, right? And wow, we just had a $5,000 buy on PTX, which is great. So yeah, shout out to whoever that was. I mean, that's the first time we've had a whale buy, an actual proper big whale buy in a long while. So appreciate the support. Appreciate you hearing us out. I'm guessing you're in this today. You're in the chat listening. So I appreciate you hearing our voice, and obviously believing in us. So that's great to hear. But yeah, a lot of good things coming. I'm sorry I babble, but we are very excited. And one thing I'm going to say, and then I'll pass it back to Shib. Sorry, Shib. I know I've been going a lot today. I'm really excited for this project, and I don't mean to, say it. I know I work for the team and I know I'm paid and whatever, but I am actually extremely excited, and I'll tell you why. when I was investing in these rebase projects as a normal investor, and there was so many times I sat there and going, I wish the team did this. I wish the team was doing that. I wish, there was a bit more than just what's going on or just the rebase. And now I'm really excited that I've got the opportunity and the team have the opportunity to make that impact themselves, rather than relying on other teams. Now, that's one of the things I'm really excited about, being able to create our own path and being able to, go from there. But yeah, just want to say a massive shout out to that massive buy. That's just boosted the team and the community morale in the Discord chat. So shout out to whoever that was. But yeah, it's been a while since we had a massive buy like that. So that was great. Thank you.
Yeah, so I do happen to know who that was, but I don't think they want to be called out here. But shout out to that person. So definitely appreciate the support and the faith. And they had some questions this morning, so all good on that end. But fortunately, we do also have a speaker. So Wolf, you are being invited to speak once you connect. You could simply unmute your mic in the bottom left, and you will be live. What's going on?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep, good to hear just fine. How you doing?
I'm good. I have one comment and a question. So for the comment, I really like what you guys are doing. And regarding the SEO stuff, I myself, I'm a marketing manager, and I have some good experience with SEO. I wrote myself some articles that are ranking first on Google. So I understand this is a long process, but I like what you guys are doing, starting this from the beginning, because it will take some time to achieve something on the SEO side. So great work there. And I'll message you on Discord to provide some help if you need on the SEO stuff. My question is, do you think you guys can implement some kind of tax when converting PTX to ePTX? I know it's a little bit discouraging for the people, but don't you think this might provide some kind of sustainability there?
Yeah, so that's a great question. The last project that I saw did that. They charged a 1% fee for basically wrapping the token, which is more or less what we're doing here. So I guess that could be a theory. We are going to have 4% buy tax and 8% sales tax. So I'm definitely open to that feedback and just kind of how it rolls out from the community's perspective. But I don't like just taxing for, without a purpose. But if the community is more interested in that, then I'm definitely open to the idea. And maybe that 1% tax just goes right to a burn wallet, so it doesn't even come back to us. It just helps remove a little bit from circulation. So it's not formalized just yet, but it's something I thought about as well. So that's a good thing to think about. Definitely appreciate that input.
Okay, thanks.
I appreciate it, man. And thank you for that first part as well. We appreciate you as well. And we are changing a few things to help with the search engine optimization. I don't know if we actually really went into this a whole lot. I know we've hinted it, but we are going to change to a new domain as well, just to make it a little better for the SEO side. So we'll get all that out there. We're going to launch the new stuff up on there so that it's all in a nice little clean package. All right. Hey, definitely appreciate you joining us, man. And I'm going to bring up next Madiera. Once you connect here, you could simply unmute on the bottom left, and you will be live. Actually, you're already muted. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you just fine. How you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you for asking. I have a couple of, they're not questions, it's just pretty much statements on what was said. First, definitely, you guys are doing a lot, moving very fast, trying to complete that roadmap in such a short period of time. That's extremely exciting. And definitely the changes, I believe all the changes are just making the protocol better for all of us. Now, the blog, definitely, I think the blog is a great idea. And one thing I did see, and I know Brand mentioned, there was the videos, like the how-to videos, the tutorial videos. I've seen other protocols do, very simple videos such as how to buy PTX, how to stake, and it's a tutorial where you could see a 2-minute or 1-minute videos, and then there's a bunch of videos you could click according to whatever option you wanted to do. So definitely, I think having a blog and other articles on there and tutorial videos will help new investors, at least get an understanding where everything is laid out and how to do everything. And the last thing I wanted to say was when you mentioned that again, going back to the podcast and communications and marketing, I think it's good possibly bring at some point, maybe it could be in the second half of the AMA, guests that are not actual partners of PTX, but key players in the field, in the DeFi field, in the NFT space. Possibly, you mentioned DeFi Mike, maybe some important figures in the NFTs, just to try to capture some outside investors that might not particularly be looking at rebase tokens or the DeFi space at this moment. That was pretty much it. Again, thank you for everything you're doing. You guys doing a great job, and I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. I know I see you in the community all the time, so shout out to you for being there all the time. I appreciate the engagement you give to the community as well. But yeah, no, that was my ideology regarding the blog, right? As much as it can be a team-based, thing where we can have guests on and have an own like podcast section on there, which I think would be really cool. I mean, the entire team have some, I'd say together a lot of experience in the space, right? I'd say more than the average crypto investor. So I think it'd be a good way to, share some stories or, talk about some things that could, educate our user base on the overall crypto market. Because, some people are new. They just come into this space and they buy, a crypto their friend tell them about. And then they, go, oh, okay. I'll buy that, but I don't really know much. I'll read the white paper because I've got friends myself that have heard about PTX and gone, hey, I'm going to buy some. And I know I'll hook you up a little bit, but just do some research on the overall crypto market, right? Because there's no point in you trying to invest in DeFi if you don't understand crypto, because DeFi is a completely different realm. A lot of people jump into DeFi and assume it's just the same as buying a blue chip, and then their first token they purchase drops 60% in a week, and they're like, well, Bitcoin didn't do that. So it's all about education, right? All about people understanding the space more, which I think is very, very important. But yeah, no, it's a good place. Look, I'm just asking the team now, the blog team, if I can drop a little hint of what the blog would look like and the sort of structure of it, just to get some community feedback if that's something people want. So keep an eye out on the Discord main chat if you're in there. I'll probably ping people just so you guys can have a look and your ideas on it, right? Because it's extremely important to get community feedback, because something that as much as team-based, which is also community-based, right? Because it relies on, the YouTubers, the community people that want to make graphics or do giveaways or create blog posts. Or I know there's a lot of people in the Discord now that, make a lot of effort to help out the community. So I know there will be people that will be, really happy to be a part of that. But we just need to make sure we do it right. That people don't feel like, their efforts are going to waste and that it's actually used, because there's no point of us implementing something that doesn't get used, right? So I'll speak to the blog team, see if there's something we can drop today as a little teaser, and so people can go, hey, that looks really good, or hey, that looks rubbish. We don't need that. So once we get that, I'll post it in main chat. But as for now, I'd say the overall, just keep an eye out for announcements, keep an eye out for AMAs. I'm pretty sure we will have some updates on Monday regarding the process or the progress on the website. I know it's a very short span, but at least we can say, hey, it's 20% done, it's halfway done, or it's started, or whatever, just so you guys are kept in a loop, so you guys can, expect when the launch would be. I would say, depending on how long the website takes, hopefully the back end of next week, we can get a relaunch. Obviously, that's not set in stone. But it all depends on the D app and the website, because the D app's quite integral for staking and for seeing your balance and stuff like that, right? So as long as that's all completed and everything's done, the contracts are already done, so we're not waiting for any contracts, which is a good thing. It's all just UI at the minute and implementation. So there's not far left. There's not far to go. I think we've done, and not to toot our own horn, but I think we've done that really fast considering it was only started last week. So luckily enough, it's all almost wrapped up already. Some projects are down for like 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks waiting for their V2. So we can still actively trade. If you don't know, we have lowered the buy tax to 4%. It's no longer that silly 13%. Once we migrate, the sell tax will be 8%. It is currently 18%. So if you do sell now, you will be taxed 18%. And that is just a temporary measure. We're keeping the original sell tax, so it still does a distribution until we get to the new token, right? Once we're in a new token, it'll be 4%, 8%. And if you ever read the white paper, you'll see how the fees are structured. There'll be no sales, contract sales on any buys, and any sales on the contracts will be on sales anyway, so it wouldn't make much of a difference. But yeah, anytime someone buys, you're not going to have them stupid, annoying sales straight after, as most rebase projects do. You know, when someone buys 10 grand and then 2 grand of it gets sold instantly after, that won't be happening with our project. So a lot of exciting things to come. Everything's going well, and yeah, it's nice to have an update and be able to tell you guys that everything's going smooth. Touch wood, so far everything's going really, really well. The designs look really good. I'm looking forward to the implementation, but we're at the final stretch now.
Hey, one thing I just want to say as well, one of the best things that you guys can do to support kind of just the getting the word out and around to other people is with all these Twitter spaces, all with any Twitter posts that we do, like, retweet, comment, that all helps the algorithm to help it kind of get distributed around. And then obviously tag people if you want to, but I'm not going to, ask you to do that. But same thing with YouTube. The YouTube algorithm really needs you to have engagement with it. So liking and commenting that YouTube will help that algorithm as well, because we do post everything up there. And that just is one way. It doesn't cost you guys anything but a couple of seconds of time. And that allows it to ideally get a little bit out there. Maybe it reaches one person who puts some money in at some point, and that's a victory in my mind. So we definitely appreciate that. But also give us your constructive criticism, give us your feedback, give us your thoughts, give us your strategies. We're more than happy to look into and consider anything as we sort of navigate here. I know a lot of, what we're doing is building, right? So it takes some time, but there are always ways to expand. So if you guys have things on your mind, please hit us up and we're more than happy to engage with you. With that being said, I think we've just about answered everything. So just make sure I don't have anything in the comments here. So with all that said, hey, I just want to say thank you, Brand, for being up here with me. Thank you for those who tuned in and for those who requested to speak here and gave us some good questions on there. And thank you all again for participating at our Friday Twitter Spaces AMA here on this Twitter Spaces platform. We'll have another one Monday up in the Discord. Get your questions ready there. Get the updates going. On our end, we should release some information about the new updates here over the weekend anyway. So thank you all very much for joining us. And this will be the close to our Friday Twitter Spaces AMA on this beautiful September 16th, 2022. We'll catch you guys through the weekend in the chat, and peace out.